The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We are beginning our Capricorn full moon webinar before the full moon, of course, which is going to be taking place in another, let's say, 11 hours and a half at 7:30 AM GMT tomorrow. So we will be warming up and coming into alignment using this webinar for that purpose. This is the picture that Francis Donald sent, and in a few moments I will be describing what he has said about it. For the moment, I'd like to go to our Capricorn banner with its theme, "Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back." And here we see an attempt to render the mysterious glyph of Capricorn, which Master DK told us cannot yet be properly deciphered or rendered, as it would release far more energy than the open pentagram and be more dangerous to the user. So it's a sign of great power. We see here as well that it is ruled doubly by Saturn, exoterically and esoterically, and Venus is the hierarchical ruler. Here is the Jofre image, which I hope you can see. We have a very rocky landscape, and the triumphant goat is atop the symbolic mountain. Actually, in the esotericism of Master DK, this would be a white unicorn with the two horns representing duality fused into the spiral horn of the unicorn, which represents all three types of motion, the cyclic motion, the spiral cyclic, as well as the forward progressive motion of the first ray. The image in the center shows an aged individual representing Saturn, and I think carrying a scythe, which represents the power of reaping. In a much higher way, Capricorn represents Sanat Kumara, the Ancient of Days, certainly not depicted here. It is the sign, in a way, of great age, but simultaneously of great youth, as we see the figure here, the youth aspiring to the mountaintop of initiation. And here we have the image of very young children, as if being reborn in this sign, as if taking the true second birth in the sign of Capricorn, which rules the first through fifth initiations, and in a way especially the first and third initiations. We see the glory of the sun behind the mountain, and in a way this is the sign of the sun upon the mountain top. In the last decade of Capricorn, the sun is the ruler along with Mercury and Vulcan, and we see a scene of solar triumph, the illumination at the third initiation. Okay, I think that says enough about this particular image. We have other images here. Dwayne Carpenter has provided an image for Capricorn, and we see here the goat and the symbolic color green. The five-pointed star is located at the center of the Ajna center, which Capricorn represents, in the sense that Venus, the highest ruler of Capricorn, is the ruler of the Ajna center, and the color green is so connected with the third ray, which Capricorn distributes. We have here as well the three rays listed, the first, third, and the seventh, and as well Capricorn rules the secret of the soul. Here we have the glory behind the goat, again representing a still higher state of the soul. Capricorn is that sign which distributes more of the seventh ray at this time in this world period than any other sign. And again, lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. It seems to be the image of the tree is here. One thinks of the world tree, the ancient tree from which all derives. And here we have the image that Francis Donald has provided, and he's given us also some text to explain this. He's dedicating this particularly to some of the newer students in the Morya Federation, and we see the image of ascent towards this important meditation, place of meditation at the peak of the mountain. So Francis says here, there is a type of structure in Tibet called a gompa, a combination spiritual study center and meditation hall that can be found in almost every lamasery. In the Tibetan's extract from the Blue Books, the Master Jwalkul informs us that he was the abbot of such a lamasery situated near the border of Tibet. He actually says in India, which is a puzzling thing for us to ponder. In keeping with the Tibetan tradition of study, meditation, and service, DK has provided us with a curriculum to be used in the future esoteric schools that extends beyond cultural boundaries, the guidelines of which have been adopted by the Morya Federation. Here's that ancient statement about perception at the time of initiation. First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is. So Francis asks us, take a moment to imagine, if you will, the Master Jwalkul awaiting our arrival in the Gompa, depicted in this month's image. Drawn by his wisdom, we pass together to the Capricornian gate and begin our climb. And this is representing the gate here. Okay, that ties us in with also with the idea of the keeper of the gate, which we have learned about in Sagittarius. We pass together through the Capricornian gate, intent on closing the gap that separates us from him, the Master. As we, whoops, here we go. Okay, just have to lift this up a little bit. As we ascend, we get an occasional glimpse through the trees of another mountain, one that dwarfs the foothill we are climbing. That must be the true mountain, we think to ourselves. In fact, the more of it we see, the more absorbed we are in its presence, and the less we seem to notice the difficulties of the path upon which we walk. Upon our arrival at the Gompa, we find ourselves among other seekers, all gazing eastward, lost in contemplation of an unimaginably loftier summit. We certainly may glimpse possibilities of further initiations, even as we struggle with the particular one on which we are intent. And the waiting Master, we know now that he has been with us at the gate. Some might say he is the gate, is with us in the Gompa, and will continue to guide us as we descend into the hidden valley beyond. Well, we certainly must descend after reaching that point of periodic arresting, that point beyond which we cannot go in any particular incarnation. And here are some of Francis's thoughts relating to the mountaintop. The symbol we most readily identify with Capricorn is a natural metaphor for the final achievement within a given area of aspiration and endeavor. And here a quote from DK, Capricorn is ever the sign of conclusion. And of this the mountaintop is frequently the symbol, for it marks the point beyond which further ascent in any particular life cycle is not possible. Capricorn is therefore the sign of what has been called esoterically periodic arresting. Progress becomes impossible under the existing forms, and there has to be a descent into the valley of pain, despair, and death before a fresh attempt to scale the heights takes place. And this is done, we realize, in the subsequent signs, Aquarius, the sign of world service, and Pisces, the sign of world salvage, in which the pain of humanity is acutely felt and in which one identifies with that pain, bringing salvation and elevation. Here are some comments of the geometry, rulers, and rays. Because of the predominant influence of the third aspect of divinity in Capricorn, as Saturn is the exoteric ruler, rotary motion governs the initial environing conditions of this cardinal earth sign. The quality of this motion is described in the old commentary as, "Amid the whirling forces I stand confused. I know them not, for during all my past they swept me up and down the land wherein I moved, blinded and unaware." And if we are subject, we might say, to the third aspect of divinity, and not rooted in the second aspect of the soul, we will be swept by all the environing and elemental forces. So this is the lower aspect of Capricorn, of course. But Saturn, says Francis, is also Capricorn's esoteric ruler, and as such offers opportunities to the disciple to stand ready to break the inertia. This puts a new face on Saturn, bringing in the first ray as well as the third ray energy. Indeed it does, because there is a line of connection between the Great Bear, the sign Leo, and the planet Saturn, all leading to Shambhala and down through our first ray centers. So the old commentary describing this influence continues in this manner: "I know them now, that is, the whirling forces, and here I stand, and will not move until I know the law, that is, of karma, which governs all this movement up and down the land. I will determine for myself the way to go. Then onward I will move. I will not travel up and down the land, nor turn in space." Overcoming, as we see, the third aspect. But onward I will move, and this is the progressive action of the first ray, ruling here the will that conquers death in Capricorn. So we transcend that. And in a way, the second aspect of divinity is here as well, because, as said, Capricorn rules particularly the secret of the soul, and its highest ruler is Venus, which brings in the idea of the causal body, the egoic lotus, and the solar angel, all expressing on the second aspect. In Esoteric Psychology 1, the six brothers or ray lords exhort their third ray sibling or brother Saturn to let the clear shining of the sun of life reveal the mind of God, and set the shining one upon his way. Then lead him to the central point where all is lost within the light supernal. Okay, so lost within the light supernal, that leads us to the keynote, "Lost am I in light supernal, but on that light I turn my back." And here one more very important statement Francis provides us with: Capricorn rules the knees. And this is symbolically true, for only when the Capricornian subject learns to kneel in all humility and with his knees upon the rocky mountain top to offer his heart and life to the soul and to human service, can he be permitted to pass through the door of initiation and be entrusted with the secrets of life. Only on his knees can he go through that door. From Esoteric Psychology 169. So this is a sign of great profundity, of opportunity, of the overcoming of karmic limitations, and a final triumph into the quality of expansion that is achieved, especially in the third decanate of Capricorn. There is another image here. If I can find that, yes. This very beautiful image that Francis provided us with 1 year ago, and here we see the Egyptian theme and the star Sirius activated atop the pyramid. We see the unicorn, in a way, the unicorn energy coming forth from the brow of the candidate. We see the eagle, the sign of triumph, and we see him looking through the eye of Horus towards the greater eye of the planetary logos. This is the eye which regards the man at the fourth initiation. He has slain the beast within him, and he sits upon his skin. These were some of the main points that were offered with this last image about a year ago. So we then are ready to enter our meditative work together. We are, technically speaking, I suppose, well, we've just finished the day of dedication, which is the third day. First confidence, aspiration, then dedication. 3 days of preparation as we move towards the actual day of the full moon, and we are now within the 12-hour preceding period. This is the day of safeguarding, receiving, and holding. And we will distribute these energies starting from the point 12 hours after the full moon, and we will register what we have received. We will have a sense of expectancy involving the astral body and a confirmed belief with which grounds the whole process. So I think we can now, let's see if I can, yes, we can begin our process. I'd like to thank all of you. We have some 70 people with us today. That's a very good group attendance. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, when these things are taking place on a weekend, it's always easier for us to be together. So we should be able to develop this power of group consciousness and use it together. Okay. So we begin. You find our position of alert comfort in the physical sense, and we begin withdrawing our consciousness from the personality vehicles, leaving behind our attention to the outer world and the physical body. Relinquishing our attention to sentient feeling and emotional states. Registering the presence of the mind, but realizing we are not that, and pulling back from the lower mind and its content of concrete thoughts. And we feel ourselves established more and more within the soul field, the field of consciousness, the field of sentiency. We realize we are the soul. And we enter more deeply into the group sense of soul. Indeed, the soul is group consciousness, and there are many points of sentiency within the one soul. I am the soul in which all souls are fused. All of us together in many places in the world, together in soul, together in presence. We extend our imagination to include the members of the new group of world servers, men and women of goodwill, and eventually all of humanity, in all nations, in all countries, in all continents, both good and bad in the personality sense, whether in the body or out of the body, the one soul of humanity, with the billions of points of sentiency but with one being, one eye behind the many eyes, one all-seeing eye seeing through the many eyes, the many means of sensing. One inclusive, all-inclusive soul of humanity. There is no my soul or thy soul. There is only the one soul, naught is but me, the one soul. I am the soul, in which all souls are fused. We focus in our group point of mental tension as if the group mental unit, it will be fed by the will aspect of the soul. So each of us brings in, according to our soul nature, strengthening this point of mental tension, either the will to initiate first ray, the will to unify second ray, the will to evolve third ray, the will to harmonize fourth ray, the will to act fifth ray, the will to cause sixth ray, the will to expression seventh ray. And we feel in the area of our point of mental tension the influence of this aspect of soul will. And especially in the group sense, the second ray aspect of soul will, the will to unify. We breathe upward the energies of the rest of the personality, the etheric physical, the astral, the lower mental, towards this point of mental tension. All the resources of the group breathed into the group point of mental tension. Which we hold. And using the group sentiency, the astral qualities we envision, using the creative imagination, the antikarana, the two-colored individual antikarana, the color of your soul and personality ray, red, ray 1, indigo, ray 2, green, ray 3, yellow, ray 4, orange, ray 5, rose, ray 6, and violet, ray 7. This rises towards the spiritual triad or moves interiorly towards the triad at the center of the sphere. Touching, at least figuratively, the monastic permanent atom, the Buddhic permanent atom, the Atmic permanent atom, touching a higher intelligence, love, and will. And together the multicolored strands, all together the group antikarana, as if in a cone or towards the center of the sphere, touching the blue-white diamond of spirit. We sense a higher presence here. And across the group Antakarana and all the individual Antakaranas, we flash this beam of brilliant light. Using the word of power, I see the greatest light. And as we do this, we think this projective word of power, sounding the Om. And so now we are aligned as a group. And on behalf of the wider group and humanity, we are aligned with a higher point of tension, with the impersonal sphere of the triad, and with the being of the monad. And we have ascended into those spaces where the masters of the wisdom are polarized, where the majority of the ashrams now are polarized, and we sense, at least imaginatively, the presence of these ashrams, the masters and their ashrams. They are real. We assert the fact of their reality. Great spiritual centers intent on bringing the divine plan under divine purpose to the planet, to humanity. And we are part of this process. We affirm that we are part of this process. And to strengthen our link with these great energy centers, we offer our salutations to the masters and to the head of the hierarchy, the Christ. Salutations to the Christ, the Master of all masters. Salutations to the triangle of masters with whom we work most closely. Salutations to the Master Morya, the head of all esoteric schools and organizations. Salutations to the Master Kutumi, the coming Christ of the age of Capricorn, and the one most responsible to prepare the way for the present Christ, Lord Maitreya. Salutations to the Master Jwal Kul, who has given us the blue books, working closely with aspirants towards the process of initiation. Salutations to your own Master as you conceive him to be. Salutations to the entire spiritual hierarchy of our planet. And imaginatively, we focus our thought on Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known. And with deepest reverence and in all humility, we attempt, identified as a group, to attune to the presence of the King, the center of Shambhala, the head of all the illuminative efforts upon our planet, the greatest example of the teaching ray upon our planet, Sanat Kumara, at the center of Shambhala. And we sound a long, silent Om as we imagine the group imbued with the energy of the Ancient of Days. Now together as a group, we imagine that we are a point of brilliant light, love, and power, all our nature condensed into this point. It hovers above a golden path. We are as a point together, and the golden path extends into a sun and the indigo sphere within the sun. The path leads into the indigo sphere within the sun. This golden path, the path of wisdom, will shorten and be retracted. We feel it moving towards the spherical indigo center and absorbed into the indigo. We, the unified point, are absorbed into the indigo. Attempt to visualize this, feel it, and as if in the presence of the Master DK, informed by his consciousness. And as we reach towards the higher sources, planetary, solar, constellational, we will do so as if aided by the consciousness, the knowledge, the understanding of Master DK, supporting our group thought, our group invocation, in the presence of this teacher. We will be aligning now with the stream of energy emanating from the two planetary rulers of Capricorn, Saturn, both exoteric and esoteric, and Venus. Saturn conveying first the discipline to honor all of life's duties, responsibilities, karmic requirements, facing the law, and eventually under the esoteric influence conveying the resolve to live according to the laws of the soul, thus fulfilling our particular specific dharma, our dharma in the divine plan, squaring ourselves, our consciousness, our energy system, with a purpose, plan, dharma, which is making itself known to us. And we will be focusing as well upon Venus, the hierarchical ruler, conveying the full illumination of the world of the soul to the eventually transfigured soul in incarnation. The great light which Venus will convey being the doorway to the light supernal, found at first upon the mountaintop and on every successive mountaintop in intensifying degrees. So first together in group presence, using our full alignment through the triad and to the spirit, we ponder on the power of Saturn. We can visualize it, we know the glyph of it, in the color green, the third ray color primarily, the planet of opportunity, spiritual opportunity rather than strictly personal opportunity. So often the person feels it's no opportunity at all, but the soul in incarnation knows better. The opportunity to bring both the individual and the group into the alignment with karmic law and with dharmic purpose through the exercise of spiritual responsibility. Holding our elemental nature in check so that we can fulfill our inwardly sensed spiritual responsibility, first spoken often as the voice of conscience. And we realize that the fulfillment of one's individual responsibilities and later group responsibilities is one of the first indications that one is truly living one's life in the three lower worlds according to the influences of the soul. Exoteric Saturn. And we feel as a group this energy pouring into us. giving us the power as a group to uphold our duties, the difficult moments which must be lived through, the facing of the truth, even though the wish life might be something different. Finally, building the scaffolding by means of which we can reach into the world of the soul. And a still higher power of Saturn is available to align the individual and the group with their roles in the divine plan. The true individual Dharma and group Dharma, and to ensure responsible conformity to that plan in one's own individual and group sphere. Responsible conformity to the divine plan in one's own individual and group sphere. As we are learning individually and as a group the meaning of voluntary sacrifice, both individual and group will be animated by the source of spiritual will emanating from the Atmic plane. And this plane is hierarchically ruled by Saturn, who is the instrument of Lord Brahma within our solar system. Saturn and the gift of spiritual will, ultimately from Shambhala, from the Atmic plane, and ultimately from Shambhala and beyond. So we feel ourselves and the group imbued with this spiritual will, which will overcome all obstacles in the lower three worlds, also ruled by Saturn. The will is irresistible. It conquers death. The third aspect of the will connected with Capricorn, the conqueror of death. And so into our group and into the wider groups there flows this energy of Saturn through the head center of the throat, anchoring at the base, and we are rendered together more responsible, stronger, together upholding the principles to which we are committed. And we will sound the Om together, feeling the group imbued with Saturn, feeling our radiation extending far beyond the group and sharing this radiation with the larger sphere so that humanity too may become responsible before the intention of the divine plan. We will not be driven up and down the land, nor rotate only in circular motion, but we will progress onward, using the first ray powers of both the exoteric and still more mysterious esoteric Saturn. The austere planet who is our great friend. And then we move into the hierarchical dimension, which applies to those who are of initiate consciousness and who can think in wholes. This is the power of Venus, bestowing the quality of pure spiritual love. Pure, transfigured transcendence, spiritual love, bringing that love into union with the luminous spiritual knowledge, thus producing wisdom, the union of the heart and mind. This wisdom to be realized by the individual and by the group upon the mountaintop within the supernal light. Within the supernal light encountered on the mountaintop of initiation. When karma under Saturn has been fulfilled, then comes the time of illumination, enlightenment, Satori. Beyond the form and figure of the lower three worlds, transfiguration. The great light of love and knowledge, joined by the light of will upon the mountaintop, revealing the secret of the soul, so that the energies of the solar angel may be released into the spiritualized personality, and that we, within this Martian vehicle, the lower three vehicles and the personality itself, may display the qualities of Venus, the solarized personality. So the individual and the group feel this energy entering, this beautiful energy revealing the soul, revealing us as the one soul, revealing the love and magnetism and purity of the soul, the higher of the fives, the high five, in fact, bringing the luminosity of the soul, which we carry with us always and express. And as we feel this energy flowing into us as a group, we feel it moving beyond. We can visualize the glyph of Venus, maybe even in the esoteric color of the fifth ray, indigo blue, within the midst of the group, radiating to the center and out beyond the periphery, touching those who can be influenced by the energy of the soul. 3 planets of great importance, 2 planets but 3 positions, ruling very much in Capricorn and also strongly in Libra. Capricorn particularly associated with the hierarchy, and Libra with Shambhala. And we, sentiently touching these energies, absorbing them, assimilating them, radiating them, embodying them, and all of this under the great eye of the blue logos, the heart of love within our solar system, the love energy within our local cosmic logos, great heart center, the blue logos in whom each one of us is a tiny monadic unit, the God of love wisdom, ever present, always present in our solar system. We imagine the sun and the logos blue informing the sun, which is his vehicle. The sun shines equally upon the just and the unjust. The sun, the giver of all life within our solar system. This great Buddhic energy, the love, wisdom energy from the second ray soul of our solar logos, through his second ray personality, through our causal bodies, through our heart centers. All of this taking place within the context of the great God of love, who is a consuming fire of love. And this is the point of transformation in the double diamond through which the energies descend. And then we rise towards the constellation Capricorn, a great triangle in the sky, if you've never seen it, a very large constellation. Not radiant in terms of outer light, but very impressive. A large triangle, so fitting, connected with the third aspect of divinity. And we focus on this constellation and its transmission of energy through the sign Capricorn related to our planet. Its peculiar quality of light, the light of initiation. This is the light, says Master DK, which clears the way to the mountain top and produces transfiguration, thus revealing the rising sun. The light which clears the way to the mountain top, thus producing transfiguration, revealing the rising sun. The sun upon the mountain top, the sun of initiation in the third decade of Capricorn, where Mercury, Vulcan, and the sun are one in the radiance of the supernal light. A deep, deep, powerful light. And in this light we shall see a still greater light. We will move upward towards the constellation which spiritually is that of the unicorn. Each one of us must become the unicorn, thoroughly regenerated in our energy system, white and one-pointed, full of power, love, and intelligence. Each one of us eventually the unicorn of God. Perhaps even at the brow center one can begin to feel the concentration and the white spiral horn of the unicorn going forth. This is the sign through which the third ray reaches the disciples of the world. The will that conquers death is here under the first ray, and the seventh ray is most powerfully represented at this time. So purpose and form will align, and creative intelligence will make sure this occurs. And we will become true servers of the plan under the purpose. And now we will contemplate. The contemplation is under Venus, so powerful in Capricorn. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. We do face the light. We stand within its radiance, but we will not be blinded by this light, but will revolve as individuals and as a group upon the pedestal of light and face the other way. And the 7 points of light within us will transmit the outward streaming radiance. And lo, the face of those upon the darkened way will receive this light. For them, the way will not be so dark. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Behind the warriors, twixt the light and dark, blazes the light of hierarchy. touching the inspiration of the soul and the spirit within. Sensing something of the isolated unity of the mountaintop. The oneness of spirit within soul, the unity of soul within the world of form. The pure, austere, cold, the clear, cold light envisioned upon the mountaintop, in which, with pure reason, the great unity can be seen. The unity which must be worked out in form and in the worlds of chaos below. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Feeling our great solidarity with each other and with the spiritual hierarchy of the planet. Our knowledge of and dedication to the plan, our submission to the divine purpose, our empowerment from triadal realms, and the mysteries of being dawning upon us through the mystery of the soul. Raised up to the mountaintop of our own nature, standing for a moment upon the summit of our own nature, and perceiving the great panorama which wisdom reveals. And intent on turning our back to the great light and descending into the valleys with the light behind us, bearing the light, carrying the light, representing the great light, the love, the power of the supernal realms. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. And imaginatively we do descend. The alignment is a great one, all the way from the very center of our local cosmos, the Pleiades, through the 7 Pleiades, through the constellation Capricorn, to our sun, the solar logos, especially to the planets Saturn and Venus, and then to our planet, first to Shambhala and through all monads, and to the soul through all souls, and into the world of the personality. We envision this powerful alignment, conveying the 1st, 3rd, and 7th ray, conveying the secret of the soul. And imbued with this very powerful energy, most mysterious, still to be revealed, we look out into the world of humanity. Think of the world situation and the ways in which this energy, or the energies of Capricorn, can be applied for the upliftment and redemption of humanity and the planet in accordance with the divine plan. How can we, as a group seeking affiliation with hierarchy, how can we represent this energy in world service, at least through the power of thought? Where should it be applied? Perhaps there is a specific area, a specific problem of humanity which you can imagine and towards which you can direct this energy of Capricorn, seeing it ameliorate this problem. perhaps all of humanity can be inspired to climb just a little bit higher on their particular mountain of ascent, no longer satisfied with impressions in the lower three worlds, climbing higher towards the first initiation of humanity under Capricorn. And the disciples and initiates of the world can be inspired to climb still higher, closer to plan, closer to purpose, thus better representing hierarchy and Shambhala in a conscious manner. So let us direct on the power of the Om, the Capricorn energy, into that particular problem we have isolated, seeing through the imagination a transformation occur. And during the next number of hours, before the actual full moon, some 10 hours and a little more, we will make every attempt to preserve this alignment, remembering the great participants within the alignment, seeking as individuals and a group to represent these higher forces and these higher dimensions, so that what we do, what we utter, what we think, can increase our point of tension towards the actual moment of the Capricorn full moon, making every attempt, whether it's day or night, to be awake in concentration, with full attention, with full group identification and alignment with hierarchy, to participate in this monthly unique opportunity. Taking the responsibility to do so. And knowing we don't do it alone, but are together in soul, in presence, before the eye of hierarchy, participating in this manner. Now we will close our meditation with the sounding of the great invocation. This word of power, the invocation of power, light, and love, that which most facilitates the coming reappearance of the Christ. And when he appears, we know, we are told, it will be the indication that humanity has taken the first initiation, ruled generically by Capricorn. The birth of the Christ in the heart of humanity. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men, Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. So friends, let us keep our alignment during the coming approximately 10 hours, intensifying it as we go, building towards that point of tension. 75 people, 74 people have been with us today or more. Thank you. Almost 80 people from all over. Thank you all for your presence. A very important full moon from which in the Morya Federation we can receive inspiration. We are a Capricorn group, also under Aries. Let's empower the group so that our service to humanity may be greater and so that we may succeed in conveying the secrets of the soul, of course, after having understood them ourselves. We will prepare this webinar as soon as we can on video and have the link posted for you. Meanwhile, have a great lead-up period to the Capricorn full moon. All the best, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.